Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. So today I'm going to teach how to make 6 inches cake using turning stick as a beginner. So firstly, I add my margarine. So for this particular video I'm using margarine. So the next thing I add was my granulated sugar. You can use your castor sugar. If you don't have castor sugar, you can use the normal regular sugar, that is the granulated sugar. But to get the castor sugar, you just use your granulated sugar and you grind it or you pound it, so you add it to it. So for this particular video I use only the granulated sugar, which is our normal regular sugar that we know. So you keep turning it. I keep turning it in one direction. So if you are using clockwise, you use clockwise. If you are using anti-clockwise, you keep using the anti-clockwise. So one thing about cake, you must make sure you use one direction. You don't change your direction. Any direction you are using, that's the direction you use to the very end. So you keep turning it. You keep turning it on it until it become fluffy, white and fluffy. So keep turning it very well. Keep turning it, keep turning it. So all the ingredients that I use and the measurement will be at the description box below. So keep turning it. You can see it very well, it's already changing already. So you keep stirring it, keep turning it like that. Just keep stirring it, keep stirring it. So the next thing that I did, look at it very well. It has changed now compared to when I put the margarine. So it's already white and fluffy. So the next thing I added was my egg. So if you are putting egg, you put the egg gradually. So look at it gradually. And if once you are adding your egg, you don't add it at once. You keep adding it gradually. That's why you'll be adding it. And for this particular video, I'm not using liquid milk. You can use liquid milk, but the reason why I'm not using liquid milk, so that it will last longer, especially if you are doing it for a birthday. So you keep putting it gradually. You can see it. So you keep stirring it one direction, the direction you started using at first. So the next, I add my flour. So your flour, you don't just put it at once. You divide it into 3 portions. So I divided it into 3 portions. I put the first portion. So now that I put the first portion, I will cut and fold gradually. Look at the video carefully. I will cut and fold. You look at the video carefully. Cut and fold. You don't stress your flour. You don't stress your batter when you are adding flour. So you cut and fold gradually. The force you are applying when you are adding your margarine and sugar, you don't apply it when putting your flour. So you put it gradually. So immediately you put it, you cut and fold, so that your cake will not sink at the end of the day. So you cut. So I put the next one again. So I will still do the same thing. I will cut and fold. Like I said, I divide it into 3 portions. Now this is the second one I'm putting. So I added the last portion of the flour. So the last portion of the flour, that's when you add your baking powder, you add your milk flavor. And if you are using milk flavor liquid, you mix it with your egg. But I'm using the powdered one, that's why I'm adding it now. So but if you are using the liquid one, you mix it with your egg. And if you are using vanilla flavor liquid, you mix it with your egg. So when you are putting your egg, you put it together. So the next thing, I put my milk flavor, my baking powder. You don't put too much baking powder so that it will not sink. And you don't put little baking powder so that it will come out nice. And the reason why you should not put little baking powder, so that your cake will not be strong, so that it will not be hard. So you cut and fold gently. Don't overstress your flour, so that your cake will come out perfectly well, so that it will not have hole at the middle. So you cut and fold gradually. But if you are adding milk, you add milk at this point. So our batter is ready. So the next thing I'm putting into my baking pan, just make sure the pan you are using is well washed and neat, and if it's wet, you clean it. So the next thing I'm going to add is my margarine. So after adding my margarine, I use my baking brush. I started brushing the pan. So you brush it very well, so that once it's baked, it will not be hard for you to remove it. So the next thing I added after that, make sure you brush your pan very well. So the next thing, I added my flour. So the essence of me adding my flour is for it to come out nice, so that it will not burn easily. That's how I'm doing it, and it will be easy for the cake to come out from the cake pan. So you can decide to use your parchment paper. You just put your parchment paper inside the baking pan. So the next thing I added was my cake batter. I put all the cake batter inside the cake pan. So I added my cake batter. You can decide to add the cake batter gradually and start leveling it with your tablespoon. So I added all the cake batter at once so that my work will be very easy for me. So I used my tablespoon, I started leveling it. So you level it very well so that at the end of the day when you bake it, one side will not be higher than one. So you level it gradually, so you heat it on the floor to remove air bubbles and bake it in the oven. Our 6 inches cake is fully baked. If you want to know whether it's fully baked, you put a toothpick or a knife at the middle. If it come out stained, it's not fully baked, and if it does not come out stained, it is fully baked.